Approximately 62 billion servings of beverages are consumed every day. Slightly above 3% of those beverages are made by the Coca-Cola company. Consider for a moment that the average person drinks water 70% of the time. What does this mean? 10% of all beverages consumed that isn't water belongs to the Coca-Cola company. That is, nearly 1 in 4 people consumes 1 serving of Coke product every day. This familiar bottle can be found everywhere except in 2 countries, Cuba and North Korea. You're probably more likely to be in a car accident than to not have seen or heard about Coke before. Tired, thirsty or troubled? Drink Coke. This drink promises to make you happy. A legendary beverage. A century of popularity. But how did it all begin? John Steve Pemberton created the first Coca-Cola by hand, inspired by the popular medicinal drugs of the time. His lesser-known partner, Frank Mason Robinson, came up with its iconic name and marketed the idea of Coca-Cola as a tonic for most common ailments. Coca-Cola was named after 2 of its main ingredients, the coca leaf and the cola nut. Coca-Cola first became popular in the United States due to a combination of savvy advertisements and partnerships. The first half of the 20th century was a time of rapid expansion for the company. Not only did the company shape the way Americans imagine Santa Claus, but the beverage also went to war with the GIs, with delivery personnel facing the same physical dangers as the military themselves. Coca-Cola is so ingrained in American culture and identity that it is often seen as a symbol of American capitalism. In an attempt to energize the brand, the Coca-Cola company decided to make the first formula change in 99 years. The new beverage formula was preferred in taste tests of nearly 200,000 consumers. But taste wasn't enough. Thousands of Coca-Cola fans across the country dialed in to complain, with some stocking up on the classic beverage in anticipation of the future. The original Coca-Cola returned in just 79 days, and executives across the country returned to reappraise the situation. Customers returned to their favourite beverage, victorious. After hitting the scene in 2005, Coke Zero has gone on to become one of Coca-Cola's most recognisable brands. Today, Coke Zero is one of the top 10 most consumed soft drinks, and it is likely to be the biggest driver of growth for the company in the near future. But this wasn't what the company planned. When Coke Zero first debuted in 2005, the product was marketed towards men. Why? Because Diet Coke was seen as a feminine drink, and men wouldn't buy them despite the benefits of a lower calorie soda. Like any product, whether from a big company or small business, it is always a process of trial and error. How did we end up liking this drink? To find out, we first dive into how you heard of the drink. Advertisements, billboards, trademarks. Everywhere you go, you see that familiar red logo. And what does it remind you of? Happiness. Coca-Cola doesn't sell you a drink. It sells you the idea of happiness, of immediate satisfaction. In fact, Coca-Cola's power lies not in how it tastes, but how you think about it. Allow me to illustrate. Most carbonated soft drinks are inherently addictive as they contain 3 powerful ingredients. Sugar, the most easily purchased feel-good substance. Caffeine, the thing found in coffee and tea that makes you feel awake. Fizz. Apparently, when acidity in carbonation combines with sugar, the feeling of joy is greater. Every drink has its own unique taste and flavours, but most contain these 3 addictive ingredients. But why does Coca-Cola sell more than its peers? The secret lies in our minds. Years of Coca-Cola's presence in our minds and environments have convinced us that it is the better drink. Interestingly, that was what Pepsi-Cola tried to discover. For a few decades since 1975, PepsiCo has been conducting blind taste challenges along the street in an attempt to convince the world that its own formula was better than its rival. And the results seem to show that. But was it really?
John here says that he prefers the leading cola to Pepsi.
Right.
I want you to taste both colas, John, and tell me which taste you prefer.
This one.
Whether or not these tests are reliable or conclusive is not important. What matters is that these tests reveal a feature of Coca-Cola. Reed Montag of Baylor College Medicine performed a version of the Pepsi challenge With subjects hooked up to an fMRI machine, he found that in blind taste tests, most people preferred Pepsi, with higher activity found in the brain region responsible for evaluating flavors. In non-blind taste tests, however, most people preferred Coke, with higher activity found in the brain region responsible for higher order thinking. Conclusion: Coke's brand is so strong that it overpowers minute taste differences. How much value does the drink bring to the world? You know Coca-Cola is the most well-known drink in the world. Let's put a number to it. The global beverage market size is valued at approximately $1.7 trillion in 2020. This includes both alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks that people across the world purchase during the year. Focusing on non-alcoholic beverages, we find that nearly $1.2 trillion of beverages was sold in 2020. This includes nutritional drinks like milk, fruit juices, and coffee, among others. Zooming in on the largest segment of the market, soft drinks. The soft drinks market is estimated to be worth $200 billion in 2020. You are probably very familiar with these drinks, available almost anywhere due to their ease of storage and affordability. And the most popular soft drink goes to Coca-Cola. Sales of trademark Coca-Cola is estimated to be $15.5 billion a year. Yes, this drink alone is worth more than many companies in the world. Let's take a look at the company's profitability. Suppose you pay $1 for a bottle of Coke. Roughly 40 cents goes to the manufacturer and 30 cents goes to paying for administration, marketing, and various selling costs. After taxes and other miscellaneous costs, the money the company keeps is slightly more than 23 cents. In other words, the company gets to keep 23 cents for every dollar you spend, because you like Coca-Cola 23 cents more than what it is actually worth. How did Coke bring this bottle to your table? It all begins with this thick, dark substance, Coca-Cola's secret formula, refined over a century since its invention. This extremely valuable substance is manufactured in 32 company-owned plants across the globe. The company has never had significant difficulties securing the raw materials to produce the syrup, given that they are all rather common materials. Most of the syrup is sold to the company's approximately 225 bottling partners, managing around 900 plants across the world. Why doesn't the company do it themselves? Because bottling is resource intensive and not as profitable. After all, the value of Coca-Cola lies not in bottling, but in a patented formula. While the company does not have executive control of the plants, it oversees consistency through contracts and also provides financial support for partners that struggle during difficult times. Once the drinks are bottled, they are then distributed to wholesalers and retailers and ultimately to you, the consumers. You probably see Coca-Cola in every street, but I doubt anyone can comprehend the vastness of its network. But what's the problem with being one of the most consumed products? You are also probably blamed for all kinds of world problems, pollution and obesity. Coca-Cola was ranked the world's #1 plastic polluter by Break Free from Plastic in its annual audit, after its beverage bottles were the most frequently found discarded on beaches, rivers, parks, and other litter sites in 51 of 55 nations surveyed. It was found to be worse than PepsiCo and Nestle combined. Coca-Cola branding was found on 13,834 pieces of plastic, with PepsiCo branding on 5,155 and Nestle branding on 8,633. According to BBC, the company produces about 3 million tons of plastic packaging a year, equivalent to 200,000 bottles a minute. And it isn't going to change anytime soon, because consumers like the convenience. Thank you for staying till the end. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe for more.